Hi, I'm Scott Cody, founder of the Institute for Embodied Wisdom. Thanks for tuning in to these conversations with Art of Leadership Mastery graduates. Please enjoy. All right, Seth, how you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. I'm in the Oakland Mountains. I don't think I've ever been up here. We have some friends that just have a spectacular piece of property up here, and we're just hanging out. We had some meetings and stuff in San Francisco the last couple weeks, so we've been up here for a little while. So
looks beautiful.
It's amazing.
Have you been in that pool yet?
Yeah. Unfortunately, this morning it was kind of one of those cold plunges. Ilana coaxed me into it, and it was great. We went on a hike and a run this morning, and then cold plunge and hot tub, and it was great. And we did our practices, and everything was beautiful.
Nice. Well, I want to check in and see what you've been up to since ALM. You did the Art of Leadership Mastery program, and I know you're up to a lot of big things in the world. So I just wanted to hear a little report on what's currently happening and what you're moving toward and what you're excited about.
Awesome. Yeah, lots going on. There's been a lot of movements, a lot of traveling, and that is not uncommon for us. But we have last year, in the middle of last year, we were sitting with our production company, our creative agency, and we were like, okay, we know we want to start making a different impact, but I don't know that the wrapper on this production company is exactly what it needs to look like. So we kind of brought the ship in for repairs and realized we needed to just kind of build an entirely new ship. And so the last 3 months has been about a big rebrand and kind of creating a new vision and goals and outlooks and restructuring the clientele. And yeah, we have some cool stuff that's coming up. I guess just to kind of keep you up to speed, our creative production agency is now really focused on the virtual reality space, and because we know that this it's an exponential technology that's only gonna, it'll hit people's hands faster than the cell phone did, faster than the internet did, and it's an exciting field to be in because it's really It has the potential to help systematically elevate the level of consciousness on the planet. And so we're really excited to be inside the medium and helping write the stories that go inside that. So we have some amazing clients that are coming up. We're potentially doing some work with BuzzFeed. We have work with USA Today. We did some great work with Unify out at Standing Rock last fall. And we're putting some VR pieces together right now from that. So work's been going really beautifully. Personal life's been going really beautifully. There's been a lot of transitions that obviously have their walls and their blocks. But what's been amazing is being in the practice of kind of moving through those walls, because no matter what, on the other side is kind of that better, that greater life. And so,
you did ALM with your partner Ilana, and I want to ask you about that in a second. But I want to come back to the VR. So, who's an ideal client for you, and to accomplish or do what? What would be, if someone if I wanted to refer you to somebody, what are the concerns that somebody has? They want to do this VR.
So a lot of people are really excited about what is possible in the virtual reality space right now, but most don't have an understanding of what it really takes to actually produce the content. It's super expensive still to actually create the content, especially at a high level. And so a lot of the clients that we've been working with, they're still working with lower budgets, and we want to tell the stories that they want to tell because they have social impact, causes that they're really affecting in a positive way. And, the ultimate client is one that's really doing amazing social impact work, really helping shed light on some of the really beautiful organizations or movements that are happening around the planet, but also have the actual financial capacity to really take on the medium in a powerful way. Because if you kind of just half-ass the medium, it really doesn't have this kind of this empathetic experiential effect that is really possible inside the VR space. So, I mean, what we're really trying to hunt down is our clients that can really afford to do high level work inside this space. Now, we had an amazing, you asked about the ultimate client. What's funny is that last fall we had a potential offer from the UN to go out to Jordan to film Syrian refugee camps. And it was, the UN is, it's one of my ultimate clients, right? They're doing amazing work, and it's like, okay, we can go help tell their stories. And they sent over what they're looking to do, and it was probably no less than $150,000 job.
Sure.
And they had a $30,000 budget. And I had to look at this, and we had to say no, because it wasn't really possible to do. And it was like heartbreaking, because it was like, that's my ideal client. Funny thing though, 2 weeks later, we get a call from Patrick, who's the founder of Unify, and he asked us to go to Standing Rock to shoot 360 and VR content out there. And so it kind of like that no to the UN really was because we were meant to be out at Standing Rock, which was really beautiful. But ultimate clients are, commercial brands that are really doing social impact work as well. So things like Tom's Shoes, Patagonia, and any foundations like Bill and Melinda Gates foundations, if they want to do, charity water. A lot of these organizations that have a big following, and they also have the capacity to really take on the marketing work in a really beautiful way. And I think those organizations have also kind of moved through the social channels and the marketing space enough to know that you have to spend a sizable amount of money to actually get in return what you want to. Ultimate clients, social impact work, commercial businesses that are doing really good things for the planet.
And as a viewer of the material, I imagine, I'm going to have a different experience seeing a refugee camp or the rainforest in a holistic sort of 360-degree immersive experience rather than just a flat, 2D.
Yeah. So we, what's really amazing, and you helped me understand this in ALM, and it's one thing to kind of disseminate knowledge, right? And we can gain knowledge from books, or somebody can tell us a fact. Like I can tell you 2 + 2 is 4. But until you hold 2 apples and hold 2 more apples and put them together and see that they're actually 4, you don't really understand that 2 + 2 is 4. So that knowledge shifting to understanding only happens through experience. And we're now able to put people in experiences that they would have never been able to have in their life. So a 16-year-old kid from Ohio can now go experience a tribal ceremony in Africa, or go experience what it's like to stand next to penguins in Antarctica, right? And that experiential learning is so dynamically different than any medium that's ever been on the planet. And so we have the ability to actually move people through radically transformational experiences at a much different level. Now, one of the things that I'm really interested in is how do we take kind of the experiential learning that's going on inside VR and then really allow people to kind of move into the practice of those experiences, which is what you're focused on with ALM. It's like it's only when we take that understanding and then we practice it over and over and over does it become embodied, and that's really the end goal.
Yeah, that's I can totally see and feel the value of this VR, as you call it, for, like you say, penguins, tribal ceremony, you name it. But then to be able to use it in education and practice and embodiment, that's going to be the new interesting frontier. I'm really happy that you pointed that out.
It's, and what we're really focused on specifically is first-person POV. So really bringing users into the experience of another person's experience, right? So actually being able to create a radical empathetic experience because you are able to see the world from another person's view. And now the technology, they're working on it, and they have like kind of head cams, but they're really bulky, and they're not, they don't pick up the world in the way that we really, that's really going to be effective yet. But I'm not really worried about the technology getting to where it needs to be to do that. We already know that's going to happen. It's on this kind of hockey stick curve right now. So what we're really doing is kind of preparing our ship to really take on and ride this wave that's about to occur in the VR space, and prepare to and learn to capture stories and understand what it means to capture stories from other people's point of view, so that we can then take them into that.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, now that you've, completed ALM, in the past, and now reflecting. So 2 things. One, in terms of being out in the world and offering what you're offering to the world, that was 6 months of work. What do you see that has done? How's that helped you? And then you were in the program with your partner, Alana, and every year we get 1 or 2 couples. And what would you say about going through it as a couple?
Without ALM, one, I wouldn't be in the relationship that I'm in right now. I don't know that we would have ever made it. Ilana is, and our friends Preston and Alexi say this all the time. We are transformational workout buddies. We move through our experiences of life and our own kind of dilemmas, and we move through those together. And what was amazing about being in ALM with Ilana was that we were learning practices together to move through those really, really, really tough situations, and learning them together, so that if one of us was out of alignment at any point during the program and then thereafter, if we fell out of alignment, it was like the other one was there to kind of nudge and say, hey, look, check, center, And so we have signals in our daily life that we use every single day to kind of bring each other back into our highest state of alignment. And so what's amazing is we do, while our work, it coincides sometimes, but we really our work is, we can really do it from anywhere. And so what's amazing is that we get to travel the world together, and as we do that, we're always constantly keeping each other in check. Our other friends, Adam and Melinda, who they call that kind of process, they call it the slinky effect, where I'll go through a lesson and I'll have a breakthrough, and I'm like, oh my God, this epiphany occurs, and I'm like, Ilana, look at what I learned, and I bring her in and kind of throw her forward, and she goes through a lesson, and it's kind of just
nice.
Slinky
effect.
Really, really
we got to put that in our marketing. Slinky effect.
Right?
That's funny.
The slinky effect. Yeah.
Cool. And professionally, in terms of being in the world, and I know you're at Standing Rock. You had some pretty powerful experiences there. How would you say your embodiment training has supported you in your professional life?
Yeah, Standing Rock was that was the hardest professional experience of my life, for sure, for both of us. And again, I think Standing Rock would have been the breaking point in our relationship. Had we not been doing the work in ALM to understand how to bring ourselves back to our center, Standing Rock would have broken us, because it was, it's a conflict zone, and it was an environment in which it's not like one person's shit or two person's shit comes up. Everyone's shit is coming up at all times. And so if you just want to be out there, you have to be in a pretty centered state, a high state of alignment. But if you want to be out there and be a leader and actually doing work that's really going to radically affect millions of people, which is what we were doing in creating content out there, like the place that you have to be mentally is it just called for a different level of awareness that I really wasn't prepared for at first, and then just being out there. You learn quick, and in the professional sense, ALM it really brought me into an understanding of how to be present with other people at the highest level. And I think that more than anything else, the more that we can drive our attention into the now, the more that we can be in this kind of active listening with another human being. And it's from there that we get to hear everything that they have to offer to the conversation, but also get to kind of pose the questions to them to bring the most out of them as a human being, right? And it was such a beautiful learning process to see how much I wasn't doing that, and to go through different practices that brought me into an understanding of how to do that, and then practice them over and over and over and over, so that now it's kind of just, I'm in a conversation, and my awareness is I mean, if you look at it from like a 1 to 10 scale, it was maybe at like a 5 or a 6 when I entered ALM, and it's not. Now I would have no fear of going into a conversation with the president, no fear of going into a conversation with the Dalai Lama. Like I feel prepared in every conversation to really go in and hold the container for active listening. And again, it's still a process, and it's going to take constant work and constant practice, but radically affecting the professional career. And that's why, I got out of ALM, and I just kind of went to, we're around some really amazing human beings that are up to some awesome stuff, and I just went to some of them that are steering quite big ships, and I was like, please go into ALM. I think this is going to really, really, really affect your life in a positive way, and then therefore affect a lot of other people's lives in a pretty monumental way. So,
I imagine by now, you're having a different experience, and I want to summarize what you said. I often call that authentic self-confidence, where you feel like you're able to go have a conversation with anybody. That's fantastic. But have you noticed yet that other people around you are noticing a shift in you?
Yeah. So I had no idea how many blind spots were there and how many blind spots could be cleaned up until I was getting reflections back from the people in my immediate family and my immediate circle, my business partners, where the interactions with them had shifted, where they were respecting and also appreciating where our conversations were coming from, and I think that everybody's winning, and that's what's so special, is that for me, my goal is to affect as many people positively on this planet before I die as possible. And I didn't realize how restricted I was based on the fact that I wasn't listening, I wasn't centered in my conversations. There were so many blind spots, and to clean them up, they've been able to reflect that back and say, wow, you're completely showing up at a much different level. There's a cool story that I'll share, and this happened just a few weeks ago. We were at a really amazing gathering of about 30 to 35 people from all different areas of work, and all performing at very, very, very high levels, from large social influencers to multi-billion-dollar real estate creators, and just heads of Buckminster Fuller Institute, and just like massive, massive, massive minds. And to see us all come together and sit in this room where the level of conversation called for you to be at the highest state of alignment, no matter what. And as we move through the week, everybody had their kind of stuff that they worked through, and the conversations really. We're talking about systems change. We're talking about world change, and that's a beautiful thing to be a part of. And when you're just stepping into kind of new parts of your journey, sometimes those conversations can be daunting because you don't know really how you're going to show up inside of them. And by the end of the week, we all were fortunate enough to be a part of an amazing ceremony that at the end of it, I had some people that I've really respected at a very high level and looked up to for a very long time come up to me and say, we see you so deeply right now, and we are so proud of the work that you're doing. And that, just coming out of their mouths, it was humbling, and the realization of the work that we have done in the last couple of years it just really hit home.
Yeah, that's the
Really
best right there. That's the best. When other people notice and come to you and tell you that they see that, they feel that, shifts that, that's worth all the effort. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, well, thanks for taking a little time and checking in, and I'm glad you guys are kicking butt. Keep going. Yeah. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been a ride, and again, we wouldn't be here without you. It's amazing to see, to learn from this. It's the way that I describe it, and you're going to kind of laugh at this, but when people ask about the work that we've done, and I refer to ALM and I refer to the program, I'm like, it's like being in kind of a modern day Mr. Miyagi's dojo, right? and you're like, it's no bullshit. Like, you're gonna see yourself at the highest level, and you're gonna face yourself, and you're gonna come out the other side a greater human being because of it. And I could not be more grateful for that kind of work and for the opportunity to kind of just sit in the presence of that kind of mastery. And I look forward to the many, many, many more years of guidance and opportunities to kind of share with you and grow with you and help this work expand. Your teachers, especially George Leonard, Richard Strozzi, Heckler, Fernando Flores, like they were masters, and they instilled mastery in you, and that is powerful to sit inside of.
Well, thank you. Thanks for acknowledging them as well. We wouldn't be here without our teachers, and so it's been a pleasure and a privilege for me to be with you as a teacher, and I look forward to more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott.
Take care.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.